I do. I believe sports teaches character. I believe sports teaches leadership. I believe sports teach a whole lot of things. But whether it's teaching them the right way or the wrong way becomes a question, and that's in anything. So that has to do a lot with the attitude of the leadership. We were taught practice makes perfect, right? You know what I mean? But see, we don't investigate these things and look on how we can advance them. We advance uniforms, we advance helmets, we advance play calling, we advance how we call plays, but the structure of leadership and attitude, we haven't advanced there. We're just, practice makes perfect, right? We say practice makes perfect, it doesn't. Anything that you consistently practice, it makes permanent. It makes it permanent. So whether it's the right thing or not, then you're used to doing that either the right or the wrong way, depending on how it's taught. So we're taught a whole bunch of things through character, through the opportunities and the avenues that sports provide for you to show your character. Like the stress that it puts on every situation that shows your character or integrity or starts to reveal things about you, because we all are characters in this walk of life. We all have a role to play, so we have to decide, okay, because some people watch, even in movies, you can start off being a villain and your character can change. There could be something that happens where, okay, you know what I mean, I don't want this anymore. I want to do more. I want to get more out of life. So our character is something that still constantly evolves. But most people try to find just a good place. Okay, this is good, this is cool, this is comfortable, I'll just hang out here. But tomorrow, in the future, and these are the things that keep us behind when we decide we rest. Okay, this is it. Okay, I'm a senior citizen, so I don't do anything anymore, right? But if you can live and you can breathe and you can speak, you still have something to give. Mindset, like when I talk about check your map, your mindset, your attitude, your perspective, it comes from that. And there's a tough thing that you see in two levels of coaching. If you've been in it long enough, you've seen it, from the youth coach to the high school coach. There's two things that are said similar, but they're exactly the same. You get to going back and forth with a high school, with a youth coach, to a particular degree. You get him cornered or her cornered, at some point these things come out of their mouth. I don't get paid for this. Everybody's heard that. Once they say that, they revealed their character. You're coaching for the wrong reason. You're coaching for the wrong reason. Anytime you have to remind somebody how much you get paid for, all you're doing is proving that you're willing to prostitute yourself to be a part of it. You're not doing it for the character reasons of it. You're not doing it because it's service, because it's need. You don't get into education and coaching for money. So when we have youth coaches like, hey, I don't get paid enough for this. I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid for this. Then why are you doing it? Then why are you doing it? So now we're able to narrow it down. Okay, you brought up pay, which has nothing to do with this. Then why are you doing it? The things that come out of our mouth reveal character a whole lot, but then sometimes we don't want to believe what we see. They just revealed their character. You don't get paid for this. Like, I don't want nobody coaching my son or daughter where that got to come out of their mouth. This is a need. This is a need. This is a need. There's a lot of children that don't have parents, or some kids who have parents, they're still not present. Coaching is a need. This is a service. Nobody goes into that really focusing on making $1 million. They chase they run up damn student loans. They try to be doctors. They go to be lawyers when you want to focus on money. This is, yeah, it's like, and my hope and idea is that people who coach like that and function like that either fix, or there's enough people around to help correct the mindset, or they get worked out of it. Because our young people are so confused. We're not giving them any consistent standards of living because everybody's character is all over the place. It's not enough for you to play your part, you want to play mine. It's not enough for you to play your part, you want to play mine, and then you want to play mine, and then I want to play yours, and then he wants to play somebody else. Play your part. And check your character. What do you want to be able to look at other young people and be like, hey, I know that they got that from me or from our program, because the character in our program, our standards are of that. And then the high school coach responds, hey, I don't get paid enough. And then again, maybe we need a reminder of why you coach. Remember why you coach, and remember why you shouldn't. Anytime money comes up in coaching. Yeah, there's some states that pay better than others and this and that, but still, they don't post high school coaches' salaries in the paper the way they do college and pro coaches. They don't. You know what I mean? That's service. Those are business. That's entertainment. We're still developing the mind, and we're not doing enough of it. And this is why we see guys do amazing in college, and girls, and then they struggle becoming a professional, because the character of pushing them to be a better person wasn't there. The character was to push them to get them to game day. Then now my career's been developed off it a little bit. We've won a couple of championships off of this kid. We ship them off to be a professional, and they constantly stay in trouble because the character was never continued to be developed, even if it ever was. And so it's extremely important for us to focus on that. I believe you build a better man. That's what a character is. You know what I mean? You build a better man, you build a better woman, you build a better individual. Everything they put their hands on, everything they involve themselves in, they'll become better at. They'll get good at, because they believe in who the individual is before they put on cleats, before they put on a uniform, before they put on clothes. When you believe in that person, at the base foundation, you have an opportunity to build amazing things on top of that. And that's all character. It's always who you are. We all show up, we're all a product of our life experiences and the do's and don'ts. But who we want to be is decided on who we want to be by the individual and not society. And no matter how old you get, you still struggle with peer pressure. And that's the difficult thing. So sometimes it's not even always the character. It's, can you manage the peer pressure as an adult to do the right thing? You know, every situation and every thing that show up, there's not always a diplomatic answer. And so in coaching and in parenting and in teaching, we just have to be good with knowing that I did that out of love and I did my best. That's the role that I want to play. That's the character that I want to have. In every situation, I want to be able to exert my best in it. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know how far we'll go with that. But you know what? It's my best. And just forgive me for everything that I should have learned and I didn't by this point, because we all should be able to say that. We've all missed opportunities to grow and develop. But when we understand how important it is, right, as an adult, how important it is for our young people to develop good character. And that's a little bit of everything, because we're more complex than what we care to admit or to show. Just not a football player. I'm not just not charismatic. I'm sensitive. I care. I'm a lover of people. All those things shape and develop my character. Not just being a lover of people, but how I handle people. You know what I mean? It says that I'm a lover of people, not because I say it, but by how I treat people. I think speaks of someone's character more than sometimes what we expect, and I think that's difficult. So if moms and dads, if society has an expectation out of coaching, we have to start doing that. We have to start understanding what that expectation is and living it. Because it's not difficult. It takes work to build and develop character, and I think as individuals and as adults, we have to set our young people on the right path for them to decide how they build their character. Who do you want to be? What part of humanity will you change? What's your contribution? Those are the things that we should ask. I mean, because prior to a year ago, all we could read about was the Black Plague and this and that and smallpox and what pandemics did and what outbreaks did. And we, my generation, we got to live it to a degree. We got to live it, and guess what? That still showed some people's character, right? How prices went up on everything. How, people couldn't get toilet paper. So we're talking about character of coaching. Let's talk about character of humanity. When there was nothing left for a whole lot of people, because a whole lot of people who had bought up, and then when things calmed down again, they would try to take it back. So look at the character of humanity. It's not us. It's how much can I hoard and get the character of just humanity needs to change. And with coaches and band directors, all the large groups, cheerleaders, we have an opportunity to just present it in the right way. Just present it in the right way. That's where some coaches lose that due to peer pressure. The question is, how do you discipline and manage when your star player doesn't have character? Let me tell you something. Most people who can do amazing things struggle in so many other areas of their life. Most musicians, right, have a what? Drug habit. There's a gift and a curse to everything. And so the kid still has to be managed because you see his gift. You see what I mean? You have to love him as an individual enough to manage the curse. Now, I don't know if there's enough time to do that. I don't know if there's enough time to do that. Between the home life, between this, between that, I don't know if there's enough time. 4 years, my job's on the line. I don't know if there's enough time to do that. I know winning solves a lot of problems. It shuts a lot of people up, but it'll also cause me to lose this life. Now, either last year or the year before, North Shore is playing in state. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is. There's an issue with the starter. Amazing kid. They're in Dallas. Coach sent him home. Damn right. He should have. He should have. Because moms and dads will bitch and complain right now, but that one thing could have saved that boy's life. Understand, that could have been the set to check his character. You see what I mean? And so what's happening is not enough of that is happening on the high school level. So we're winning off of them when we're sending them to college, and then now in college, because they have the money, they're managing and covering up and hiding the issues. But then when the kid goes to Sunday, you can't hide them anymore. You can't hide them anymore. We have to manage. I love that because that's why you coach. Yeah, we want to win games. It's not a guarantee. I want that kid to be a winner more than I want to win. You have to if you've seen it enough. If you see how fast they're dying, how difficult it is to connect with them, it's important when you have them, for however long you have them, for that to be the most amazing experience that they can ever have, because we're running them out of athletics too soon. Youth coaches are running kids out of sports way too soon. Way too soon. They're running them out too soon. So when you look at the numbers, when the numbers start to shorten, that experience when they're young has to be amazing. The things that are established there, they have to be amazing. You have to discipline, and that's how you set your program. I want to give you a chance, and I'm going to give you a chance. But the same very thing that I let you walk on, would a cop let you walk on that? You see what I'm saying? If it had to do with character, does law enforcement let you get away with that? Or is a boss going to let you get away with that? Is the right or wrong professor gonna let you get away with that? Because that's our focus. The sports is just a glimpse to build them to be amazing people. And if we're not building them to walk away from the sport to being amazing people, then we are missing. Our character in that degree needs some tending to. This pandemic is nothing. Stay connected, because they're not all just connected to sports. There's so much when you are connected. Okay, we can't play sports, but I know that you're interested in this, and all that takes is a computer. And I know you're interested in that, and you can do that at home. And I know you're interested in this, and you can read about that. There's more, there's more, there's more, there's more, there's more. We just don't want the norm messed up. But you gotta be inconvenienced when you wanna win. That's the win. When we know, without turning it into a Hallmark situation, what our young people go through. That's the win. You know, them developing character, being like, yo, how did you get here after high school? I had a coach, right? God, that is a powerful thing. That's a powerful thing. To be called coach, for somebody to did you like that? Because some people just hear coach. I don't hear coach, I hear dad. You know what I mean? That's a real tough thing. When these young ladies, hey coach, I hear dad. When these men, hey coach, I hear dad. Hey dad. All of them don't have it the way some of us have it, or the way they need it. That is an amazing value, whether you're male or female, in your coaching. There's so much more behind that, and we know it, and that's the value in the win. There's not too many coaches that have coached me. I give it to you. If I had 100 coaches that I've been around, there might be 10 of them that I don't want to be like. There's 10. Very few. Dead in jail. I just wonder what, and don't even want to wonder what my life would be if I wasn't taught to shape and to mold character beyond just playing football. Because for a while, I thought that that's all I was, and that's all I went after, and that was my entire focus. So I didn't even personally know what character was. It took a while for football provided the opportunities for me to get that. You see what I mean? It provided the opportunity for me to get that quicker than I got it. Just first to start to get familiar with the fact that something may need to change, right? And then you realize something does need to change. Then it's just not character. Other words get tied into it. It's not just character, it's maturity, it's integrity. You know what I mean? It's honesty, it's forthcoming, it's understanding what it is to put somebody before yourself. It has the opportunity to provide all those things. Sports does. But if kids never hear that, if young people never hear that, then it's difficult to connect that way. If everything is just the schedule and we need this amount of games and we win these games and then we're a state champion and we got banners up and for the rest of our lives people will high-five us, when there's still an opportunity to get it all. And I think as long, if all of it's on the table, then take it while it's there, because it won't always be there. When you have the opportunity to play an amazing sports, develop incredible relationships, have the opportunity, not the guarantee, to play for a state championship or Super Bowl or any level of championship, having the opportunity, that does feel good, because there's some people who don't. There's some people who don't. And I think understanding that, it allows us just to understand how precious and valuable people are and the importance of character, and we want to be able to know, hey, I had that kid, that's my responsibility right there. Their character is my responsibility. That is my responsibility. That was my responsibility. Sometimes this is where I missed it. We don't do that. We just consider them lost, right? When there's some kids that are still making it out of tough situations or whatever, when we can't turn it around, but we're not perfect in anything. And we have to take those L's too. We have to learn to do that. Some kids we miss, but we just have to be in a hurry to attempt to try to save them all. We're not going to do that. But we're going to try. We should be doing that. Here's the thing. There's expectations on leadership that aren't always real. And then there's so many different ideas about leadership and what it's supposed to be that people get lost in it. So when we're talking about, when we're looking at the book, for example, on why, the reason I wrote the book was this, because I wanted to clarify the understanding of what leadership is and make it more universal to where when people hear it, they understand what it is. And it's not. There's people who are good leaders, should be in leadership, can do leadership roles, but they're not treated like they are. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost biblical to where in this perspective on how we look at leadership. So when the prophet comes and he comes to David's father and he goes, go get your sons. I'm looking for your sons. And he initially brings him all his other boys. And they all looked like kings and they were built amazing and they looked like they should have been. And David didn't have the look. So it's like everybody that doesn't have the look, then we don't consider them to have leadership skills. And everybody that's in a leadership position, even owners, some owners aren't good leaders. It fell in their lap because dad died. You should have never been a leader. You inherited it, and you weren't taught leadership skills. You see what I'm saying? A shakeup in a company, and then, okay, well, Colin's been here for 15 years, make him a leader. Hey, you've been in here for X amount of, make them a leader. And we're just promoting people without establishing what leadership is and what the expectation is, and on how to lead people. How to lead adults. The way I would lead toddlers is different than the way I would lead elementary, and it's different than the way I would lead middle, and it's different than the way I would lead high school. It's different than the way that I would lead adults. It's not as cookie cutter as we try to sell it, because none of us are. We're all unique. So to start off with leadership, you have to be willing to respect the uniqueness and understand how to get everybody on the same page. We have a lot of people in leadership that get thrown into the position. You can get thrown into the position, but then you need to back in to what's expected of the position. You can jump out there and take it, but you got to back in and what's expected out of the position. I expect a leader to be a good listener. I expect a leader to pay attention. I expect a leader to be able to speak, articulate, manage, and produce vision. Most people think leadership is being the boss, and it's not. It's influence and example. It's influence and example. Leadership is influence and example, and it's not always positive. It's not always the positive thing that people sell. What's leadership? We got positive quotes all over this place. You walk in any institution, there's positive things about leadership that everybody don't understand. That everybody, when they see it and hear it, they need to be able to recognize themselves in that, Juan. When I see, what's leadership? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's me. Everybody should feel that. They should know and understand that they have leadership qualities. And I don't think that we've done a good job of that throughout the ages in establishing what leadership is. Because once we do that, now we have a level of expectation. I can't expect anything from you if I haven't established. If I just think, hey, I say leader and I'm the leader or I'm the boss, that you understand what that is. Everybody doesn't. Some people challenge that. Some people don't know from their role that it's leadership. Just being on time. is leadership. Some people can't do that. Some stars, like we talked about before, can't do that. They can't show up to practice on time. They can't show up to meetings on time. They can't show up to games on time. That's leadership. And those other things about leadership need to be established so other amazing people who have leadership qualities can start to rise through the concrete. Because we try to make it seem like it's only one way for certain people, and it's not. And leadership does change. Minds change, the way I look at it. The older I get, my position in certain areas, you start to move from one spot to the next, Colin, and I think that when you're establishing leaders, when people get into certain positions, they still need to be taught. And so you see now there's a lot of training, and some of the training, it thickens up and teaches people how to do their job, Juan, but it's still not teaching them how to deal with people. You know, and so there's so much more to this that we really need to be able to focus on, because I think in any situation, when leadership is right and you've established relationships, there's not anything that you and I shouldn't be able to talk about. Even if we don't see eye to eye, we should be able to have the conversation the right way, because our leadership isn't where it should be. And coaches have an amazing opportunity to build that up and to make that better than what it is. And we have to do that, and we can't keep being afraid of doing that. We'll have a conversation about everything else in the field house, in the coach's office, except for the things that really matter, and it's to change. And I think, you know, we got to get better at that.